name's Rebecca Coates. I'm the director of the Shepparton Art Museum, and I have been invited to be one of the judges for this year's Geelong Art Prize. So the importance of contemporary art prizes is something that has been contested over the years. For a period in the 1970s and 80s, they were seen as really problematic by artists in the arts community because you were trying to judge one work against another work, which is an incredibly difficult thing. And really what you're looking for is the most outstanding practitioners, and it's very hard to make those sort of judgments. I think that there's been a real change in the perception of prizes and their significance, and certainly at Shepparton we have two really significant prizes, and it's something that I think is incredibly important in our exhibition program, and how we work with artists and how we work with communities to everyone loves a prize. Everyone loves the excitement of finding out who it is. So I think for audiences it's pretty key, and I think that popular who do you like and what your perspective is and where you're coming from is legitimised in some respect. So there is a really interesting thing that I think we've seen in that sense. For the artists, I think it's hard because it is a competition. There is only one winner. But I think what institutions like Geelong and what I think Shepparton has done too is say this is a very important prize. This is an opportunity to showcase the best of the work that you can do. It is a bit of a zeitgeist. It is a bit of a moment in time. Where are we at? How do we see ourselves? How do we reflect where we're living? And what's important? So I think the prizes enable you to take a pulse check. I think it is important. We've been, for some of us who have been to school at certain ages, this sort of satisfactory, not satisfactory has come in. I think we need to aspire for real excellence. And a prize does do that. So if the amount of the prize helps you say, look, this gives me a bit of a moment to stop my day job for a little bit or do something else or recalibrate or rethink, I think that's also the value of a prize as well. Painting at the moment, I think, as with all contemporary art, is very diverse. It continues to go through an enormous change. I think what you'll see in the exhibition is a series of works that are very reflective of the multiplicity of approaches and uses and extensions and reductions and everything else that you can do with painting. When I talk about the winning work, I think I have to talk about the way that it lodges and lodged in our memories. And I think the really best works lodge in your memory and continue to sort of jiggle there. So in your unconscious moments, they pop up, and sometimes they're not necessarily always resolved, but they have that strength of character, if you want, that they are this little voice that sort of jiggles and won't let you forget. When you're thinking about making a painting, when you're looking at surface painting, and I think this work is a particularly good one to look and look again and look very deeply and then get right back and then look closely again, you're thinking about how is this work made? What is the technique or the techniques that an artist has used to actually create this sort of surface finish? It's very meticulously painted. When you look at the branches from a distance, they look slightly ghost-like, as if it's got a bit of a fuzzy edge. So then you get quite close up and you can actually see the way that the paint has been applied on the surface. So look closely at those branches. There are 3 little leaves that you can find if you look very closely that have been depicted and pulled out in a very specific way. Then that's been contrasted with this plyboard, which is almost hyper-real. So, the way of using photographs to then paint from and to grid up, if you want, and to actually do square by square by square so that it's absolutely accurate and you've got every little line, every little knot, every little detail of that fabric that is being depicted is a treatment that I think Andrew has used in this work. And then he's sort of gone to town and he's got a bit of a splash and a splodge, and that's where that paint on the back of the ply, I think, has given him a bit of freedom. If you look at the light flow, which is what I call the Gothic component, it's almost like a halo effect, that's like the tunnel. It's again, he's fudged from light to dark in a very beautiful way. So the gradation that he's got has been built up over layers and layers and layers of, I would assume, quite thin paint. But of course it doesn't read as that. So you've got this contrast of the more abstract atmospheric component, I'm looking at the work as I speak, contrasted against this very detailed trunk and the little strips that tie this banner or whatever it is to the tree, and then the knots and burls of the tree, the living tree itself.